CEO and president of the UFC, Dana White, is here. Dana, thanks so much for joining us on this special night.
Thanks for having me.
What did Hulk Hogan mean to you and mean to America?
Yeah, I'm 55 years old, so I grew up right in that, when the WWF was massive and Hulk was becoming a really big star. And I watched the WWF back then, and I was a Hulk Hogan fan.
I mean, I was watching him just as much as you were. I mean, the guy defined my era. You were behind the scenes with him at the RNC. What was that like?
Yeah, it's funny because I was actually on a family vacation. I flew from Italy to Milwaukee, and when I got there, they walked me literally right in to a holding room where they had me and Kid Rock. But on the way to my room, Hulk Hogan grabbed me and asked me if he could talk to me privately for a second. And he pulled me aside, and I'll never forget that conversation that we had that night. And he was a good man. He was special. He loved the president, and obviously he loved America.
He did, from the bottom of his heart. And he sacrificed so much for America and for the American people, just the toll that his performances take on a body. What does that tell you about him?
Well, I mean, anybody who's in any type of sport that's physical, they're obviously very passionate. They love the sport. And, when you give your body like these guys do, you're doing it because you love it and it's what you want to do for a living. That's why whether you're a fighter, a professional wrestler, a football player, whatever it might be, it's what you choose to do because it's what your passion is.
And the guy was a real man's man. I mean, and in the 80s, he was a
man's man. That is a fact.
That was what it was all about. You had Hogan, you had Tyson, you had Trump, and these guys were just flying off the wall. The flag was flying. What did that era represent?
Listen, I grew up in that era. That's my era. And I think that everybody, whatever era they grew up in is the best era to them. But the 80s were incredible. I mean, and not just them. Guys like Stallone and Arnold, and the list goes on of the men of that era. And to me, Reagan. I mean, I can go on and on. It was the best. I say it all the time. I'm really happy that I grew up in the era that I grew up in, the 80s, and I'm really happy that I'm going to be leaving in the era that I'm going to be leaving in. I'm very, very happy with where my time laid out in this world.
Well, it's been a great time. You're just a little older than I am, but I think we're on the same path here. In a way, did Hogan and the WWF, did that kind of tee you up at the UFC?
Yeah, I was more of a boxing guy, but to say that the WWE, boxing, and other things of that time, from the Muhammad Ali's to Hulk Hogan, Vince and Don King and all the guys who paved the way for me to be where I am today, all had an impact and a lasting impression in my life. And definitely the way that the UFC is today and the things that I've done to build it all have a little piece of all those guys and their businesses.
Well, you're a great promoter. He was an amazing promoter, and I hope tonight there's just going to be millions of people tearing off their shirts or trying to. It's not easy depending on what kind of shirt you have or how strong you are. But Dana White, thank you so much. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.